Hi, Assalamualaikum to Dr. Sabarina and my fellow classmates. This is the revenue case of Dadu Enterprise Berhad. From the case, the process involved is when the order received through mail from customer. The seller then will duplicate and the first copy sent to the credit department for authorization and approval, and then the second copy is retained on file together with customer order. The credit manager checks the order against the approved customer list and the current account receivable subsidiary ledger account balance. The approved sales order is sent to storekeeper to check whether the stock is available. If the stock is available, the invoice will be pre-print but not serially numbered. The first copy of sales invoice sent to the customer, the second is sent to the account department, the third will send to the customer together with goods, the fourth copy will filled together with the customer to make sure all shipments accomplished by a copy of sales invoice. Thus, this process is the sales of goods rendering or service for cash or credit. The next one is source of documents involved. The first one is customer sales order. This document contains detail of the types and quantity of product or service order by storekeeper. Order then received by the sales office through mail from customer sales order form. The seller will immediately make a duplicate for each customer order. This order will be pre-print and kept in the sales office but not in serially numbered. The second one is credit approval form. For this credit approval form, it's when a customer purchase product on credit for first time, the entity needs to investigate the credit worthiness of the customer. The result of this process should be documented on some type of credit approval form. The copy sent to the credit department for authorization and approval. The credit manager then will check the order against the approved customer list and the current accounts receivable subsidiary ledger account balance. The third one is open order report. This document contains all customer order for which processing has not been completed, but perhaps because items ordered are out of stocks and back on order. In the typical revenue process, once a customer order has been accepted, the other is entered into the system. The approved sales order is sent to the storekeeper who checks whether the goods are available or not. If the stock is available, multi-copy sales invoice are prepared. The fourth one is shipping document. In these documents, it should be prepared and everything goods are shipped to the customer. This document contains information on the type of product shipped, quantity shipped, or other relevant information. The fourth copy of the sales invoice filled together with the customer order by storekeeper to make sure all shipment is accomplished by copy of sales invoice. The next one is sales invoice. For sales invoice, these documents used to bill a customer. The sales invoice contains information and on the type of product, service, quantity, the price, and the term of trade. The original sales invoice usually forward to the customer and copies are distributed to other departments within the organization. When goods are available, multi-copies invoice are prepared. One copy will send to the customer, second copy to accounts department, third copy will send to the together with goods to customer, and then the fourth one to make sure that all goods are shipped to get when the goods reach the customer. The last one is account receivable subsidiary ledger. These accounts contains and this document contains an account and details of transaction with each customer. The transaction recorded in the sales journal and cash receipt journal is posted to the appropriate customer account in the account receivable subsidiary ledger. That's it for me. Thank you for listening. Let's move to the next point.
Today I will continue explaining about journal entries and account involved in this case. When Dadu Enterprise involved in sales purchase, the company shall record following double entries, which is debit account receivable, credit sales, and then debit cost of goods sold and credit inventory. When the sales occur, the inventory will be out as a good to the customer. And then next slide indicates the revenue cycle flow chart. Okay, firstly customer sales order, and second sales order and check for authorization and approval, and third stockkeeper check stocks, and then sales invoice prepared, next shipping goods to the customer, and then goods received by customer. The next following slides about internal control involved. Firstly, control environment. Control environment in the area of external financial reporting, management that is consistent with applicable financial reporting framework. Second, the control activities. Control activities have ensured that risk responses intended to address and mitigate risk are carried out. Third, risk assessment. In this case, two control activities involved, which is performance review and segregation of duties. Last, information and communication. Information and communication is relevant to financial reporting objective, includes the accounting system and consists of the procedures and records. And there are two risk area in this cycle, which are inherent risk and control risk. Firstly, inherent risk. In this case, industry is experiencing a lack of man for his product. The entities may be faced the declining sales volume, which can lead to operating losses and poor cash flow. The control risk. Thus, various control environment factors may affect the individual business process. Can you explaining about this case?
Okay, next I will explain about important session in this cycle. So for this first important session is occurrence. So the Dado Enterprise Berhad recorded the sales only with approved customer order and shipping documents. So it means that we have the evidence and the proof of the sales order and already recorded in the Dado Enterprise Berhad. Next is completeness. So for the completeness is shipping documents only with approved customer order and shipping documents. The shipping clerk checks to make sure all shipments are accomplished by a copy of the sales invoice. So when the company wants to shipping the products, the clerks check by the orders uh, in the copy of the sales invoice given. Okay, next, the authorization. Authorization, the proper entity procedures for authorizing and shipment of goods. The sales invoice was sent to the credit department for authorization and approval. Next is accuracy. Each sales invoice agreed to a shipping document and customer order for product type and quantity. Subsidiary ledger reconciled to general ledger, control account. The credit manager in Dado Enterprise Berhad uh, checks the order against the approved customers list and current accounts receivable subsidiary ledger account balance. Okay, next for the relevant audit procedures for the cycle. First is inspection of records or documents for the Dado enterprise. So inspection of records or documents consists of examining internal or external records or documents that are in paper form, electronic form, or any media. In this case, these order forms are pre-printed and they kept the order form in the sales office. So the credit manager checks the order against the approved customers list and the current account receivable. Also, the inspection is to show the reliability of such evidence and its relationship to specific sessions. Next is inspection of tangible asset. So for the approved sales order is sent to the storekeeper who checks whether the goods are available in stock to meet the request. So if the goods are available, so they can the goods can be sold. So next is observation. There are four copies of sales order that be contributed to the customer, credit department, account department, and shipping clerks. So when the sales order contributed to this specific uh, position in the company, so they can observe the sales received and the inventory uh, out for the goods. So next is re-performance. Re-performance involves the independent execution by the auditor of procedures. Next is analytical procedure. For analytical procedure, uh, itself are an important type of evidence on an audit. They consist of evaluation of financial information through an analysis of a possible relationship among both financial and non-financial data. So the credit manager checks the current account receivable for the availability and reliability of the data used in the calculation. Also, the shipment clerks or the storekeeper also check the inventory. So it means that there are non-financial data and financial data for the asset or inventory. Next, I will pass to my friend Farah for the next explanation.
Okay, article. Now I will continue the presentation with the question that we call it. Let's view the question, which is the European case. So next we move to question number one. Okay, question one. Business in internet control over the existing sale order system. So the weakness that I have found in this case is inherent risk. The inherent risk is high because of the risk in the control. It is because the risk is high because of high investment. Okay? High investment and based on this question, that will impact manually because of taxation, and it also showed it was involving the human. So the statement or the rest of information will happen if this is continually happening. So next weakness is control risk. Control risk is high if the control is low. Another component of internal control, which is a control environment, can be expressed on this question. Also, information and communication. So, it is because in this situation that that do enterprise perhaps a series number in invoice they are not recorded at transaction. This that the information, the communication, also the control, the very very low and very high. It's why the risk is high. So next move to the second question. To make one improvement for each, for the weakness identified. Then we go inherent. So first we start with inherent. So we need to have a better internal control to maximize the risk. Okay, since that they involve the highly human. So the recommendation is it is of the system with technology, not to 100% human, because the error will be very more because human make mistake, and with the mistake we maximum because the transaction will record correctly and we perform the way. And then next is coverage. And coverage needs to have better and by control environment to avoid the fraud mistake because they are not break the transition, and then also by information and communication in the company. So it is to avoid any fraud and mistake. Okay, the next question, the last question is describe the audit test. The audit test, the auditor may perform in mind if there are any errors or irregularities. So the exception that reads this case or this question is what is occurrence? Okay. The ethical test for the control is review and testing the entity procedure for means and merely complain about a monthly statement. Okay, this is the right of the first two. And the last is the more related completeness. Okay, review and test the entity procedure for accounting for memory sequence of sharing the bill and sell invoice. B. IT application destination of application control. So this is under it's more related to scanning procedure. So to avoid to avoid any errors and irregularity. Irregularity. So that's all for me. That's all for us too. So then